Should Joe Biden be impeached? Well, while House Democrats are never going to do that, Dave Bossie, one of Donald Trump's closest allies and the president of Citizens United, says he should be, and moderate Democrats need to seriously consider it as well. Bossie writes the following, quote, he being Biden, lied to the American people about the strength of the Taliban and asked former Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on a phone call to lie about the deteriorating situation on the ground in Afghanistan. Biden then abandoned American citizens and billions of dollars in military equipment on the battlefield in enemy hands. This all easily rises to the level of an impeachable offense. The question must now be asked, what did the president know and when did he know it? Well, let's get more now. Joining me, Dave Bossie in the flesh. Dave, thanks for being here, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
Well, you know, it's interesting how you make the case about moderate Democrats and those that voted for Biden. They should not stay silent on this and that they could make a difference when it comes to impeachment. Lay it out for me, Dave.
Well, that's exactly right, David. President Trump was impeached over a phone call, and a phone call that came nowhere near to the level of corruption that Joe Biden's phone call did with the former Afghan president, where he was asking the former president of Afghanistan to lie and dangled foreign aid and military aid over that lie. So I find it incredible that Joe Biden would be able to get away with it when they impeached President Trump for much, much less. So all I'm saying is in this op-ed, and it's important that we focus on it. I don't kid myself that Nancy Pelosi is going to impeach President Biden, but I do believe there are a lot of races around the country where Republican candidates can challenge their moderate Democrat current member of Congress, the incumbent, and make it a campaign issue. What happened to Trump and what has not happened to Biden, the hypocrisy, the media coverage, it is all in all one issue that these candidates can use.
Well, speaking about the campaign, so if House Republicans take back the House in 2022, which, by the way, on paper looks very doable, and I might be being kind there, is impeachment a slam dunk if House Republicans take control?
Well, it better be. Impeachment is an important political tool. Nancy Pelosi abused her impeachment power with President Trump. They hated him more than they love our country. That I said that to you many, many times over the years. What they did was absolutely was disgusting over the last 4 years of the 4 years of President Trump's administration. Joe Biden needs to pay for his actions, but also politically. I'm not a guy who wants to just let it go. What they did to President Trump needs to be answered, and they need to answer for it.
For sure. Let's turn to some Afghanistan news while I've got you here, Dave. The Taliban now refusing to let Americans and Afghan translators leave Afghanistan. This has been going on now for a while. I mean, who in the world could have seen this coming?
Yeah. But there's gambling going on here.
Yeah, exactly. Realistically, though, how do you suspect this administration is going to respond, if at all?
With weakness, with looking the other way, with demonstrating, that America leads from behind once again, going back to Barack Obama's failed policies, Joe Biden's failed policies. Joe Biden has not been right on a foreign policy question in 40 years. You just have to ask his friends and colleagues in the Senate. Ask Bob Gates, the former Secretary of Defense. Joe Biden doesn't know what he is doing. He is a dangerous president at a very dangerous time for America. So what we did to Afghanistan should not be forgotten. It needs to never be done again. The American people deserve to know the answers as to this level of the debacle that we're seeing, the murder, the rampage, the retribution, the leaving the military equipment. Whose idea was it to pull out our military and leave American men and women behind enemy lines? It's never been done before. Our military's credo is that we never leave a man behind. And so this is just undoing 200 years of American military policy. And it's a disaster. It's disgusting and quite embarrassing for the United States.
Yeah, and by the way, let the record reflect that he, Joe Biden, told George Stephanopoulos in that ABC interview, "We will leave no American behind." And what happened? We left Americans behind. So that was an out.
And he lies.
There's no, yeah. But where's the Washington Post fact check Pinocchios on that? Yeah, they're silent. All right.
Yeah, they're silent.
Another issue on Afghanistan: the Taliban painting their flag on the outside wall of what used to be the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. Yet the Biden administration wants to give them the chance to prove whether or not they still want, I guess, world domination. I mean, do we really think these people just want to be our friends? What is it? The Taliban is all of a sudden Sesame Street here?
It's the same old, same old. The Taliban are wreaking havoc across Afghanistan. They're murdering men, women, and children. The retribution against anyone who's ever helped us, us leaving behind not only Americans, but our allies and partners there. It's a tragedy that's going to continue. We have Americans being held hostage there. This is embarrassing. And the reason that the Taliban do this is to win the terrorism award, if you will. They're not doing it to be seen on Wall Street as having goods and services to provide the world on, in the markets. When the White House says that we're going to, hold their access to the world markets as something over their heads, I don't believe, David, that the Taliban produce anything other than opium that the world markets want or need, and so we have no leverage over them. What they only leverage they understand are bullets in the head. Okay, that's all they understand, and they need to get. Unfortunately, we're going to be sending back our men and women to have to clean up this mess again, and we're going to have to fight again once they've reconstituted, unfortunately, with our own military equipment. It's just the level of incompetency, the level of destruction that this administration's done in just 8 short months, that we have a border crisis, an inflation crisis, a crime crisis. It's a COVID crisis, an Afghanistan crisis, all things that Joe Biden did himself. He didn't inherit these problems. These are of his own making, and the American people better figure it out and better figure it out fast.
As we wrap up here, Dave, I've got to ask you about, everybody wants to talk about Trump. Is he going to run in 2024? Who knows exactly? My prediction, I think he definitely is going to run. But anyhow, here's the point. You got a cratering Biden administration on everything you just laid out there, plus a House Republican majority potentially in 2022, which could be very good, which means his track record in these primaries is probably going to be pretty good. You put it all together, I mean, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that this is at least teeing up very nicely for a potential 2024 run.
Everything that the Biden administration has done is driving voters back into Donald Trump's arms. It is going to be a very clear signal that America wants an America first president again. And Donald Trump is going to be in a position to do that, especially. And I think that he's going to look at this and make a decision after the midterms, which is appropriate. He wants to keep the focus on their disastrous policies. And then if he chooses to run, if he makes the decision that's right for himself and his family and for America, we're going to see, I think, a resurgence of patriotism, a resurgence of backing the blue, a resurgence of American strength like you've never seen before. And President Trump will make America great again.
Dave Bossie, great to have you on the show. Love speaking. I could speak with you all day, but then I'd have to pay you all day. I have to pay you. Thank you, Dave.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, I appreciate it.